Huh. Huh. You cannot chat with chat paused, /chat unpause. Says well, this is very peculiar. Says the rats causing such a ruckus down here are mere commoners. How feeble are those bandits? Says now as a noble, I'm supposed to take pity on you. Where's the fun in that when I can cut you down instead? Elcard the ignoble says your intrusion on my plans ends here. Have at ya, commoners. Elcard the ignoble says do not interfere with my affairs. I will see that crowned head fall and assert myself as king. Your padded cloth coif is about to break. Your infused cloth shoes is about to break. Elcard the ignoble says, you think you're so strong? Let me show you true swordsmanship. Elcard the ignoble says even if you stop this, city leeches like you will never step foot outside of Seer Haven. Where do you think you'll go? Back to the slums. Elcard the ignoble says ugh, looks like I might need help from those bandits after all. An item shattered because it ran out of durability. Elcard the ignoble says you are no commoner. Who are you? You have defeated this dungeon. In order to be teleported to the reward room, stand on the pressure plate. Sir Reginald says, haha, fantastic job, Squire. No, Squire is insufficient. It may not be official, but in my mind you are truly a knight. Now what, says. How do I leave, says. Sir Reginald says, first, I think there are some treasure chests here that demand your attention, haha. But then, we can head back to Seer Haven. Sir Reginald says, haha, fantastic job, Squire. No. Sir Reginald says, simple, just look to the right. The button there will take you to the entrance of the alchemy labs, and from there you can either leave back to Seer Haven or continue exploring these labs. City Guide says, hello, Magshadow Light 2. I've been instructed by Gatekeeper says, did something go wrong with the dungeon? Take me to Valley says. I'd like to teleport says. I want to abandon this instance says. You can abandon this instance so that you may purchase a new one. Other players in this instance will not be affected. Transferring you to Valley 2. You completed the Alchemy Labs dungeon, enter the teleporter and head back to speak to Sir Reginald one last time. Mage's Legacy, Vargos will want to speak to you. Ask him about the skull on his desk. Sir Reginald says, wonderful work, young squire. You have truly earned this here reward for your valor in the alchemy labs. Your inventory is full. Some items were dropped on the ground. What can I do now, says. Are there more classes than the 3 you offered me in the labs, says. Can I re-enter the alchemy labs, says. Sir Reginald says wonderful work, young squire. The kingdom thanks you. What can I do now, says. Are there more classes than the 3 you offered me in the labs, says. Can I re-enter the alchemy labs, says. Sir Reginald says of course, let us head there now. Your inventory is full. Some items were dropped on the ground. You are eligible to /vote on 6 sites. Sir Reginald says wonderful work, young squire. The kingdom thanks you. What can I do now, says. Are there more classes than the 3 you offered me in the labs, says. Can I re-enter the alchemy labs, says. Sir Reginald says there is always activity within Seer Haven, and plenty of people who are in need of a brave adventurer such as yourself. Sir Reginald says our capital's quest guide can be of great assistance to you. He's in the central plaza. I'll adjust your compass to also lead you there. Welcome to Seer Haven. Head to Seer Haven Central Plaza to find its quest guide. Sir Reginald says wonderful work, young squire. The kingdom thanks you. So_12_ defeated the darkest depths. Endless room reached. 82. Sir Reginald says there are indeed. I've already set your compass to lead you to Sybil in the Narrator Academy. There, she will instruct you further. Prologue. Now that you are finished with your mission, speak to Sybil in the academy to learn more about classes. City Guide says, hey, you there. Come over, I've got maps, info books, and survival gear, all free. City Guide says, hello, how can I help you? Who can I ask for help, says. Can I have an info book, says. Where can I view a map of Seer Haven, says. Can I have some supplies, says. City guide says there is a rather large one you can look at in the Intraseer Haven station. That's the building just to the south of where we are standing. A book floats on an obsidian pedestal. Pick it up, says. You pick the book up from the pedestal, and another manifests in its place. PEB says hello Magshadow Light 2. I am PEB, your personal enchanted book. Who's there, says. PEB says well technically I am bound to your very being, however that is not important. I will manifest myself momentarily once we are acquainted. Sounds great. What do you do, says. PEB says I am able to give you information just beyond your grasp, or some you just don't remember. Housing, class, what dungeon instances you have open, stuff like that. PEB says let's begin, shall we? Simply click buttons in the book. It is recommended to avoid the vanilla Minecraft page turning buttons. Lunker defeated the darkest depths. Endless room reached, 84. PEB says skin changed to blue. Prologue. Now that you are finished with your mission, speak to Sybil in the academy to learn more about classes. Sybil says you must be Magshadow Light 2. Murano has spoken very highly of you. I'm Sybil, the caretaker of the academy. If you would ever like to switch your classes or skills, please just follow the blue path below your feet. Alternatively, you can stay as your current class if you are satisfied, your choice. How many skill points do I have, says. What do skill points do, says. Sybil says if you were to reset your class, you would have 2 skill points. Sybil says skill points are used to advance your knowledge of your class, earning you more skills that you can have active at once. You earn skill points by completing dungeons in Monumenta. Mages are masters of area control, freezing, wounding, and igniting enemies with their strikes. Class gear says, magic wands, bows. Class roll says, AoE damage, crowd control. Warriors specialize in melee combat, being able to both deal and survive heavy damage. Class gear says, axes, swords. Class roles says, melee DPS, tank. Clerics are mighty healers and specialize in fighting the undead. Class gear says, N/A. Class roles says, melee DPS versus undead, AoE healing, cure status effects. Rogues excel in one-on-one battles, using precise strikes to bring down dangerous elite enemies. Class gear says, dual swords. Class roles says, massive single target melee DPS, survivability. Alchemists employ magic potions to weaken and destroy their enemies. Class gear says, alchemists potions, bows. Class roles says, AoE effects and support. Scouts are agile masters of archery and exploration. Class gear says, bows. Class rolls says, ranged damage, mobility. Warlocks use scythes in combination with dark magic to bring suffering and death to their enemies. Class gear says, scythes, hoes. Class rolls says, AoE status effects and burst damage. Warlock is only available upon completing the quest Sons of the Forest. Your class and skill points have been reset. You can pick a new class now. Alchemists employ magic potions. You have picked the Alchemist class. Alchemist passive. You passively gain 1 potion every 2 seconds. Each skill point increases your potion damage by 0.5 each. Grab an alchemist's bag from the adjacent chest. Green pressure plate read skill info. Yellow pressure plate check how many skill points you have left, and how many skill points you have already invested. In this ability. This only works if you are anal chemist. Button invest a skill point into this ability. This only works if you are an alchemist and if you are standing on the yellow pressure plate while pressing the button. Gruesome Alchemy level 1 says, swap hands while holding an alchemist's bag to switch to gruesome potions. These potions deal 80% of the damage of your brutal potions and do not afflict damage over time. Instead, they apply 10% slow, 10% vulnerability, and 10% weaken for 8 seconds. If alchemical artillery is active, left-clicking while holding a bow, crossbow, or trident will also swap modes. Gruesome Alchemy level 2, the slow and vulnerability are increased to 20%. Lord Geek 101 has claimed a Treasures of Viridia loot cache. Brutal Alchemy level 1 says, your Brutal Alchemist's potions deal +1 damage and apply 1 damage every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. Brutal Alchemy level 2, your Brutal Alchemist's potions now deal +2 damage and apply 1 damage every second instead. Iron Tincture level 1 says, crouch and right-click to throw a tincture. If you walk over the tincture, gain 8 absorption health for 50 seconds, up to 8 absorption health. If an ally walks over it, or is hit by it, you both gain the effect. If it isn't grabbed before it disappears, it will quickly come off cooldown. When another player grabs the tincture, you gain 2 alchemist's potions. When you grab the tincture, you gain 1 alchemist's potion. Cooldown, 50s. Iron Tincture level 2, effect and effect cap increased to 12 absorption health. Alchemical Artillery level 1 says, swap hands while holding a bow, crossbow, or trident to toggle shooting alchemist's potions instead of projectiles. Shooting a potion consumes the potion and applies the damage and any effects that potion would normally apply. Alchemical Artillery level 2, potions shot with this ability have 35% of your projectile damage added to their base damage. Empowering Odor level 1 says, other players hit by your alchemist's potions are given 10% speed and 10% damage from all sources for 8 seconds. Empowering Odor level 2, the damage is increased to 15%. Your potion recharge rate is decreased by 0.5s. Unstable Amalgam level 1 says, Shift left click while holding an alchemist's bag to consume a potion to place an amalgam with 1 health at the location you are looking, up to 7 blocks away. When the amalgam dies, or after 3 seconds, it explodes, dealing your alchemist potions damage plus 12 magic damage to mobs in a 4-block radius and applying potion effects from all abilities. Mobs and players in the radius are knocked away from the amalgam. For each mob damaged, gain an alchemist's potion. Cooldown, 20s. Unstable amalgam level 2, the damage is increased to 20 and the cooldown is reduced to 16s. Energizing elixir level 1 says, left click while holding an alchemist's bag to consume a potion to apply 10% speed and jump boost 2 to yourself for 6 seconds. Cooldown, 2s. Energizing elixir level 2, speed is increased to 20%, additionally, gain a 10% damage buff from all sources for the same duration. Bezoar level 1 says, every 5th mob killed within 16 blocks of the alchemist spawns a Bezoar that lingers for 10 seconds. Picking up a Bezoar will grant the alchemist an additional alchemist potion, and will grant both the player who picks it up and the alchemist a custom healing effect that regenerates 5% of max health every second for 2 seconds and reduces the duration of all current potion debuffs by 10s. Bezoar level 2, the Bezoar now additionally grants plus 15% damage from all sources for 8 seconds. You have not unlocked Brutal Alchemy yet. You can unlock this ability by investing a skill point. You currently have 2 skill points available. You have unlocked Brutal Alchemy level 1. You have not unlocked Iron Tincture yet. You can unlock this ability by investing a skill point. You currently have 1 skill point available. You have unlocked Iron Tincture level 1. Omega has claimed a Treasures of Viridia loot cache. Welcome to Seer Haven. Head to Seer Haven's Central Plaza to find its quest guide. Mage's Legacy, Vargos will want to speak to you. Quest guide says, hello there, adventurer. How can I be of assistance to you? Can you give me a list of quests, says. Can you clear my waypoint, says. Says bandit troubles. Bane of the bakers. Says a crown of majesty. Says a crown of topaz. Says flash in the pen. Says a little spark. Says mage's legacy. Says a pirate's life. The Scout's Codex. Snowman left behind. Supply and demand. Quest guide says, seems like that's it. Hover over a specific quest for more information on it, and click on a red entry to have its starting NPC location added to your compass. Monumenta quests, finding the starting NPC for a little spark. Monumenta quests, finding the starting NPC for Oren says, hey there. What's up? Who are you, says. I'd like to teleport, says. Oren says, I'm Oren, one of Kinevra's apprentices. She taught me how to use arc crystals, how to detect thaumic signatures, all that jazz. Oren says, I've actually made a functioning prototype of a portable teleporter. Sinerva gave me permission to try it out with some of our Valley's heroes. I think it'll prove really useful. Left click while sneaking as a shortcut for teleportation. Patreon Shrine notice, the resistance effect has 5 minutes remaining. Kinevra says, well, hello there. Welcome to my office. Who are you? I'm Magshadow Light 2 says. Kinevra says, nice to meet you, Magshadow Light 2. I'm Archmage Kinevra. I'm a member of the Mage Council here in Seer Haven and was the creator of the teleporters found all across the valley. Wow. How does it all work then, says. I thought Vargos was the Archmage, says. So you made all these teleporters, says. Do you have any tasks for me, says. Kinevra says, lovely. You really want to know? Well, it's pretty simple. Basically, you use an object's thermic signature to transmute it through elemental phases, via the application of an arc crystal. With a specific endpoint in mind, you encode that information in runes onto specific faces of the now-shaped object crystal meld, and then your mind begins to wander. Oh. Wow, yeah, that sounds so cool, says. Kinevra says, thanks, I'm glad you think so. I wasn't done yet, however. I have so much more I can tell you. Hee hee. Maybe some other time, says. Honeypint has claimed the treasures of Barit. Kinevra says, okay. Come back soon. Kinevra says, what? Kinevra says. Kinevra says, oh, no. You misheard me. I'm an Archmage, not an Archmage. I never noticed the similarity before, how silly. I work with lightning in a magical way to create new things. Kinevra says, nice to meet you. Kinevra says, I did. It was quite the undertaking and took lots of travel, but that's why I'm a trusted member of the Mage Council. Kinevra says, oh, I'm so glad you asked. I actually do. See, recently, the apartment complex just down the street was torn down and rebuilt. Anyway, the supervisor, Vinny, has a fantastic arc crystal I've been wanting. It's the perfect piece of magi science out there. If you can go get it for me, I'll give you a nice reward and teach you more about the King's Station here, or as it's more casually known, the Teleport Hub. I'm in, says. Maybe later, says. Quest, a little spark. Length, short. Difficulty, easy. Get an arc crystal for Kinevra from Vinny at the apartments. Kinevra says, hi. Did you manage to get the arc crystal from Vinny yet? Not yet, says. Kinevra says, off you go, then. Right to our dear supervisor in the apartments.